Howdy! Ryan Trahan and Haley are going to 50 states in 50 days. I thought it would be fun to tag along with the challenge, so to speak, and try to read 50 books set in the 50 states. We're on day 3. Today, in Ryan's video, Ryan and Haley went to Arizona. Arizona Unlocked. What's up? If you watched yesterday's video, then you know, thanks to my mom, I found out that I already had a book that was set in Arizona. I hadn't read it yet. I wanted to start it last night, but I got too tired after editing videos and that kind of stuff. So I didn't start it until today, and I finished it today. So 196 pages, done. Arizona book, done.
New state unlocked! We love Arizona!
It actually also takes place in New Hampshire. So if I don't find a New Hampshire book, we might need to do some strategy later on. Thoughts on The Man of the Desert by Grace Livingston Hill. First up, I think it's pretty cool that the first Grace Livingston Hill book that I ever read was in last year's summer reading challenge. I read Duskin, the 30 new authors in 30 days thing that I did. Since reading Duskin, I've actually only read one other Grace Livingston Hill book, Out of the Storm. I read it, I think, March this year. I've officially read 3. I have nearly 100 of her books. Christmas presents and eBay, amazing. Of the 3, I think Duskin might be my least favorite. Out of the Storm is my favorite, and Man of the Desert is right there in the middle, I think. I just finished reading The Man of the Desert like 5 minutes ago. It's very fresh. I usually like to ponder a book a bit before I really solidify an opinion, but overall thoughts on it. Here we go. The overall plot actually reminded me a lot of Out of the Storm. It's like you have a woman in danger, a guy, stranger who she has never met, saves her. They both fall in love with each other really quickly, and then for certain reasons they have to be apart for a long period of time, but they still love each other, and then at the end they're able to come back together, get married rather quickly, and live happily ever after, with faith themes throughout. Actually, the faith part was a bit gender bent compared to Out of the Storm, because in this one the guy didn't know anything about the Lord and he was in high society. In this one, the girl didn't know anything about the Lord and she was in high society. So the genders were kind of reversed, and instead of the peril being in the ocean, it was in the desert. I loved all of the verses that were talked about in here. Oh, and okay, minor spoiler. There was a person who died in the book who was close to one of the characters. Keeping it vague here. That person's parting almost made me cry. I mean, I was reading it really fast. I think if I was reading it slowly, I might have shed a couple tears for said person. Also because it kind of reminded me in some ways of Phil Robertson, who passed recently. I watched his funeral on YouTube, and just some of the things were a bit similar, so I was like, the feels were there. I loved the talk of heaven and missing someone, even though they're like, hey, don't cry, I'm in heaven, I'm dancing on the golden streets, and we cry anyway because we still miss them. It all hit. As far as the romance is concerned, I did really like Hazel and Brownlee. What are their names? It's kind of late. And also, okay, what was really interesting about both of these books is that both of the romances, they fell in love with each other really fast, and they didn't even know their names for the longest time. I mean, I know in both scenarios the couple met under intense circumstances, like life or death kind of situation, so I kind of get it, but at the same time you fell in love with this person and you haven't learned their name yet. Because they didn't really know their names for the majority of the book, I had a hard time kind of remembering their names as I was binge reading it. But yes, their names are also on the back here, so that's helpful. Hazel and Brownlee. Technically Brownlee's first name is John, but that's just such a basic name, and he was often referred to by his last name because it takes place in the time where, you know, people don't usually refer to each other with their first names. I actually don't know what time period this took place in. It wasn't super clear. It had to take place, I think, before the 1930s, but I don't know how far back it went. There were telegrams that happened. Anyway, So I would say somewhere between 4 and 5 stars for me on this one. I really liked it. What I will say about the Arizona thing, something I learned, or rather what I wish I could have learned, was it is so hot in Arizona. I don't know how they didn't have heat stroke. Like, they were outside a lot. And I've often wondered how they dealt with heat back then, and it wasn't really revealed. They just didn't pass out, which is nice. Just like, what is your sorcery? I think that wraps it up for today's book. The next book. Again, Ryan and Haley did not tell us in today's video what state they're going to next. However, we have the map. We can make some guesses. Because they're in Arizona, I'm thinking they're either gonna go Nevada or California. Unless they go crazy somewhere else. I don't think that they're gonna go that crazy. So Nevada or California. And I have already read books in both of those states. So I think we have a guaranteed freebie tomorrow. I say freebie as in I won't be like powering through that state's book. However, I obviously have a lot of books in states that I haven't read. So I might want to start up one of the books I haven't read to get a head start. And as you may have noticed yesterday, my mom was wonderful and helped me out with finding out that this book takes place in Arizona, and she's been helping me a lot with finding other books that happen in the states that I don't have. I gave her my list and she's been Googling and researching. And today we went to a real life library. What? I haven't been to a library in a really long time, let alone used a library card. So I got a library card. I have access to Hoopla now. I got some books. And now I can plot a bit. When I say I plot, my mom can help me plot while I'm editing videos and reading. She even started mapping out where she thinks Ryan and Haley are gonna go so that I can pick a book tomorrow. It has the best chance of being the next one that I'll need to read. Super big thanks to my mom for helping me with the mapping and the planning and the getting the shorter kids books ready. That list is going to be super helpful. Tomorrow might just be me featuring other books that I have read in the state that Ryan and Haley go to, and then starting up a future state book. I'm excited, you guys. Let me know in the comments if you're watching Ryan's series. I'm loving it so far and so excited for like a month and a half of Ryan Trahan videos. Let me know what you're currently reading, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Brownlee's mom in this book mentioned that he never liked saying goodbye. So instead they would say au revoir, which basically means to see you again. In which case, I'm going to close this video out with au revoir.